Welcome to NQ Ninja, where we'll be covering the January 16th Friday charts for the intraday. So today was an interesting day in that in yesterday's video, I mentioned something towards the end of the video that we probably want to go up and fill this previous wick. So if we look at this, there is this wick from yesterday and it comes down all the way to this level, right? And yesterday, I believe we had a body when we actually were doing this video around this level. So you actually had a body kind of in here. So what I was saying was we would probably go up at least 80%. A lot of times we'll actually fill the full wick, but if we're going to continue to stay weak, we're probably going to go up to this zone area and then push down, not making a higher high on that candle. And so if I use my Fibonacci retracement tool here and I measure this out, look at where we're at. So here's 70%. If you move up, probably around, I would say around 80%, was exactly kind of where that wick was. So just want to kind of call that out, that these plays, it's not just luck. You do have to look both ways, but they are there and they present opportunities if you're willing to not create a bias one way or the other. So I did call that out, but at this moment, I just want to kind of go down to the 5-minute level and let's just talk through a couple things today, and then I'll call it a day. So this morning, around 8 o'clock is when I typically get on just to kind of see what's going on after I get the kids to school. And you can see what we're doing here, right? We're creating this cup this morning where we kind of move down. We find the VWAP down here. That's that white dotted line. And then we start to kind of bounce off of that back up. Now at this point, had a pretty good probability of it kind of getting back up to this area. So I was thinking we'd probably reach around 570, and that's what we did. I didn't actually take it this morning. So I just let this play out. I was doing some stuff around the live stream. I was trying to get my first live stream set up, and that was happening around 9 o'clock this morning. So by the time I actually got that set up and everything, the market was starting to move. I did record, and I guess I thought I deleted the old test video, but I guess I deleted both of them. So I apologize for that. Didn't really miss anything in that video. I was really doing it more to kind of just get a feel for how to live stream. But do expect I will be live streaming more. So what do we do here? We came up into this zone that we found resistance with. We peaked out of it, which we can do, especially on that opening candle at 9:30. There's just so much volume. You can't truly use that as the same weight as these other candles just because of the opening candle. And what we did was we started to create higher lows. You see that? Lower highs, right? These are highs, but they're lower. At this point, I was still thinking up because we had this zone down here that we were kind of holding for a while, right? You can see it all in here, right? We were holding this zone for a long time. And so when we actually broke that zone to the downside and we broke the VWAP here, that's when we went down. So what I'm trying to show you is that the structure played out, okay? Structure went back up, filled the structure to completion, all the way back up. We then hit a zone, which I talk about in supply zones, so red areas. We don't want to take longs, okay? It's not the best place to take longs. If anything, in these areas, you want to take shorts once you kind of get some confluence. And so confluence here is we're getting a higher low. A lower high, lower high, lower high. I'm still thinking, okay, we might be able to bounce down here, right? Because I've seen that to where, the first 30 minutes we're getting those moves one way, but then we reverse for the rest of the day. We didn't get that. It actually went straight down. So I watched that moment here. I would actually show you on the 2-minute what that looks like. So let's look at that on the 2-minute. And let's just pay attention to what's going on here. Okay. So originally or early in the day, I want to say, I'll call it my bias, but I am looking both ways. My bias was up. I was thinking up. I thought we could break that high of the previous candle and just continue up from there. And what I'm talking about, I'll show you, just so I'm not, just saying things. So if we look at the charts from today, get over there. So on the daily, I was thinking we could probably try to maybe move up, break this high, and try to move out of this, right? Get some real strength. Because I know like recently we've just been bouncing, right, on this. We didn't get that move today. We actually came down, created a really nice tail on the daily. But look exactly where we hit. We hit right on the bottom of this daily wedge that we had, right? Now I removed the daily wedge top just because now the structure's not there. But man, look at how we just touched that bottom wedge and then moved up. I'll show you this on the lower time frames. It's a beautiful trade if you could take that back up as a recovery. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So at this point, we start to break down later in the day. At this point, when we start getting a larger move one direction, what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, what is the structure that I'm seeing that we could go to, right? So I'm like, okay, well, it looks like this could be some sort of move like this, right? Which could take us back into this area. So I was thinking around maybe 700, something like that. We did get it to there. That actually did hit. That did play out. But to play that, what you would want to do is you want to mix that structure with some sort of entry alert or notification, right? So what are we identifying as our entry? So if this comes down, it's probably going to be a moving average, right? So if this comes back up to this 9, that might be a really good play to take down. And in this situation, it was a beautiful play. So what you could do is take that entry, pre-plan this out of saying, okay, if we move down and then we get a move back up to the 9, that's where I'm going to take an entry. And then my stop is actually going to be the previous high, right? So this is the previous high. That would be my stop. This is my entry. And then where would I take it to? Probably in this situation, I'll be honest, I would probably take it down to this zone that I have down here. I had this zone already labeled. Typically, these zones that I put on the charts, they do touch if we do go in that direction. So that would be something I would look at. So that would be a great play. And on M&Q, that would pay pretty well. So we come down, we retest, we hit this zone, right? So I want to show you how these zones are respected. These zones, so like this 745 to 770 zone, that was green. It was demand. But since we broke down, that demand area becomes supply, right? So it becomes more of a resistance area than it does a support area. And I just want to show you that on the day, because from here, we just kind of, go sideways. Again, it is Friday, so that's kind of what we're doing. I say sideways, but there's some pretty big moves here. But I want to show you this. Look what we did. This is the bottom of the wedge. We literally hit this demand zone and literally wicked that bottom wedge and then just moved up. So let's just say you took a position down here at like, I don't know, 595, right? Or let's just say 600, okay? If you took this at 600 and you watch this and you just moved your stop up at every bottom, you would want some sort of exit. I would probably take my exit around here. This is the 9, so I would say around 70. That's 70 points that you're looking at. Now, I know in the moment, it's hard to begin to trust this, but these are the types of plays that you're looking for. Where is a really good entry to take this back? Because I know we probably need to recover some, right? And what do I mean by recovery? So if I'm looking at this on the 5-minute, it looks scary to take it up. But as I begin to really understand candlesticks and I look at it on the hourly, we had some major moves down, right? And so with these major moves, we're probably going to want to try to bounce up and get some liquidity up here, gain some liquidity to then move wherever we're going to go. Is it going to continue up or down? And so that's kind of what I'm thinking in this as I'm playing this. So as this was going down, I'm not thinking let's get in because I can catch this and then it'll move up. There has to be certain areas that happens at, and so that's where that happened on the charts today. So I just want to show that. Hopefully this is helpful. I'm gonna try to release a video on Sunday, so be on the lookout for that. If you're not subscribed and you want to join these videos, I'm doing in-depth dive on just how to read price action. What does it look like? How can you become a more successful trader when looking at NQ? And that's exactly what we're doing here. So we're really focused on one thing, and if you can master that one thing, you can really kind of translate that into a scalable way of trading. So hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and I will see you guys later on.